Thanks very much. Welcome everybody. It's a great time of the year to be involved in the AFL industry, full of expectation and hope. Glenn welcomed everyone and did it really well. Just a couple of people I'd like to sort of add to if I can. First of all, Bronte and who we affectionately call Christo sitting down here. Bronte's the Managing Director of AHG, as you already know, but George de Crepney and I were over in Perth last week talking to both Bronte and Dave over at just a few Crown Lagers about the future of their relationship with the Melbourne Football Club. You do remember after about the 15th that offer you made, what was it, $3 million over 5 years, Bronte? You remember that? Thank you. But per annum, I should say. But I just wanted to say that not only is Bronte very important to this Melbourne Football Club, but the East Perth Football Club, we spent the night out there, and community footy it underpins the whole of the AFL competition. And what Bronte does in contributing to the East Perth Football Club, to see that work and everything he's done, he's really a great supporter of the AFL game generally. And we need people like him and those companies supporting the whole game. So thanks, Bronte, not just on behalf of the Melbourne Football Club, but also on behalf of the whole of the AFL game. And look, to Neil Danaher, who's here, just to repeat, Neil, it was outstanding what was achieved on Queen's birthday last year and the lead up to that. More importantly, it was just what football needed, I thought, at the time. Footy's been racked with some bad news stories over the journey, and particularly things like Essendon and the like. But what you helped deliver was bringing together a whole lot of football people just to show the general public and the football public what football can do and what good it can do. And I think it was fantastic, and we're going to back up and do it again this year, and we'll do it every year after that. So thanks, Neil. And also I just want to reiterate the comments about the Ron Barassi Club, if I may, because I've been in footy for 20 years and I'm a firm believer, strong believer, that the club brand is created by the players of the club, and they carry it on from generations to generations, and you have to look after the well-being of your players. And, you know, there's people around clubs who played for the clubs who don't share in the great wealth that's in the game at the moment, and they're still part of your club. They create your brand, and if the Ron Barassi Club, like the Dick Reynolds Club at Essendon, can start to look after the well-being of some of the players that aren't doing so well, I think that's a great result. So can I commend everybody to attend that and get behind that Ron Barassi Club. And I just want to mention one other person in the room. I bumped into an old chairman of mine, Bruce Singh, who's sitting over there. No one will know who he is, but he's a very smart man, a professor from Melbourne University, chairman of Victorian Responsible Gambling Foundation. The club just signed a charter with the Responsible Gambling Foundation not to take on sponsors of betting agencies. I was on the board of the Victorian Responsible Gambling Foundation for 2 years before I joined the Melbourne Football Club, and know Bruce pretty well, so it's great to see him sitting there, and it's funny how life pans out. Look, this football club's had a very good off-season, both commercially and on the field as well. Off-field, we achieved a lot of things that people are probably not used to seeing the Melbourne Football Club do. Innovation and leadership. And Glenn started on mentioned about a couple of things, but the trade week that Josh and Marnie and Todd Viney put together, it was an interesting article in The Age today or AFL Media, I think, today, about some clubs starting to bitch and moan about changing the rules already because, quote, they were asleep at the wheel, unquote. But to show that leadership and that innovation by Josh, Todd, Jason and the whole team, to be able to end up with picks 3 and 7 and a few trades that boosted our young talent, that's something that the industry is not used to seeing the Melbourne Football Club lead on. To take over the City of Melbourne and relaunch our brand and our logo, and you'll see a video about those events after I finish talking. Again, a bit of innovation and leadership that people in the industry aren't used to seeing the Melbourne Football Club do. That's really, really important for where we are as a club and being respected as a club. We reported a profit of $560,000 for the year, and we've been able in the period of December and January to invest $1.1 million in an upgrade of a venue. So, you know, our commercial wheel is turning, and we're very pleased with that. The outlook for 2016 is good. Membership at the moment is trending higher than it's been, which is good. We have a full sponsorship list supported by the people in the room tonight, and most of our commercial KPIs are ahead of target at this early stage. And we have plenty of exciting things going on for 2016. We will receive documents from the AFL shortly to submit a bid for a licence in the women's competition, and although not guaranteed that we'll get a licence, based on our leadership and innovation in this space, in the women's space over the last few years, we expect to be one of the 6 to 8 founding teams in 2017. And wouldn't that be terrific after being the founding club? This football club founded the VFL-AFL competition. It wrote the rules. It's really been the catalyst that's made the AFL look at women's football, and we will be a founding club in that competition as well. We are setting up talent academies for Indigenous and multicultural boys and girls in Alice Springs and the southeast region of Melbourne around Casey. The AFL, of course, will be considering its investment model, as it's calling it, and the players' CBA in readiness for the new TV deal in 2017. And all of our sponsor properties are basically up for renewal in 2017, apart from that offer that Bronte made with a major sponsorship. Further, as Glenn said, we're going to build on our brand strategy to capture the city of Melbourne, and in particular the people who come to Melbourne. Now, we know this is a long-term aim, it's a generational aim, and we also know that it can only work on the back of being a really good football team. And that being a really good football team remains our number one priority, which is a great segue into football. In my view, and I'm not one to talk hyperbole, I think this is one of the best pre-seasons I've seen in my 20 years of football. The players' work effort has been just outstanding. The learning environment that Glenn talked about, it's another piece of innovation and leadership led by Josh Marnie, Paul Roos and all the coaches. The response of the players to this in terms of their interaction and engagement, which I know will fast-track their development and fast-track the new game plan. But most importantly, it looks like to me that everyone had a hell of a lot of fun during the pre-season and they wanted to be around the football club. I want to acknowledge Josh, Paul Roos, Simon Goodwin, all the coaches and staff in football department and especially the players for this pre-season. You have given yourselves and this club the best chance possible to improve this season and start the move up the ladder. We have good people at this club. We have a very talented list to build for the future. We have good coaches that can help players succeed, and we have a succession plan in place for the senior coach that will help that journey. We have an executive team that is as good as any I've worked with over my time in footy. We have an enthusiastic and capable staff who put in tirelessly, and we have a good board led by Glenn, who knows its role and plays its role. As Glenn, you stole my thunder. It monitors and challenges management well and provides advice according to their area of expertise, but they let good people get on and do what those good people do best, and that's what makes a good football club. In short, we finished the rebuilding and restructuring of this club. There's no more excuses. We're starting now to know who we are as a club. We have players and staff who know they are the ones who will make the difference and create the success. We know we can grow and succeed, but we also know there's a way to go. And importantly, we know from a football viewpoint the journey we're on. We're committed to it and we believe it'll work. And whether that journey takes 1 year or 3 years doesn't matter. I'm excited about the future of this club and I'm looking forward to this season. There will be some highs and unfortunately there will be some frustrations that go with the journey we're on, but it's going to be a great journey. Thanks for your support.